Hello, hello. What's up? Welcome. Good afternoon. Let me do a little sound check, stream test check. Welcome, man. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Waiting on the press conference. A couple things to talk about. We're going to do a phone call show after, a call show after. Make sure. Wait, press conference. Boom. Good. Everything looking good. What's up? Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you guys coming by, man. I know you could be anywhere. Oh. Suna, thank you. Thanks for reporting.
This meeting is being recorded.
Not only Gabby, but so many other cases. I appreciate that.
A 3-year-old boy survives for nearly 72 hours in the woods of Grimes County.
Don't do that. I'm actually going to close that out for now. Welcome, welcome. Just waiting for them to start up. I wouldn't watch this with any other group. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I know probably everybody's streaming right now. I could have jumped on earlier, but I was just like, I want to come on refreshed. You know what I'm saying? We could do this together. They don't have audio right now, guys, so just have to hang on. Right now, the audio is turned off purposely.
Hello,
Guys,
thank you all for joining us. I am Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner Office is filing the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, no other information will be released about the autopsy. The only thing that is released in the state of Wyoming is cause and manner of death.
I think they said they can't hear you. Just 1 second.
People just don't understand. They had his mic muted on purpose. That's why. Now he unmuted it after. Strangulation, guys.
Should I start over then? Thank you for joining us. Sorry about the audio issue. I'm Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner's Office is following the following verdict. In the manner of death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito, we find the cause and manner to be cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, only the cause and manner of death are released. Their autopsy findings and photographs and that sort of material is not released by state statute. And I'll be glad to entertain some questions at this time.
Hi, Brian. This is Alex with the News and Guide. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm curious whether you're able to pinpoint a date of death and when, and if you know whether or when Gabby's remains will be returned to her family.
The remains have been returned to the mortuary here, and the mortuary is dealing with the family at this time as far as the disposition of the remains. As far as the time of death, we are estimating 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the body was found. That is actually determined more by the law enforcement folks than than our office.
I couldn't hear. They had all this weird stuff going on.
Vivian, you are able to ask your question.
What's the question? I didn't hear a question.
Chris, I believe that you are muted.
He's not muted.
If you can unmute yourself.
Oh, the reporter.
Okay, it's John Walsh from In Pursuit with John Walsh on Discovery ID. Dr. Blue, thank you for your time. I think everybody in the world believes that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby. With your extensive work on the body, are you sure that it's Brian Laundrie? And will the FBI issue a nationwide homicide warrant now that they know the cause of death?
We are only tasked with the determination of cause and manner of death. Who committed the homicide is up to law enforcement, and I cannot answer the question about the FBI. You would have to contact them.
Jeremy Kopus, you are now allowed to ask your question.
Yes, hello, doctor. If you could please, can you comment on any other bruising, maybe on the body that possibly was healing, possibly older bruises or cuts that might have been healing over the last couple of weeks before her passing?
By Wyoming state statute, no other information about the autopsy is released, just the cause of death.
Hi there, this is Heather Lee, a reporter at ABC Action News in Tampa, Florida. I just wanted to know if you could explain why it took about a month for this process to finish. I think a lot of people were hoping that they would learn this information sooner. So I just think if you could just explain the process and why it took a month.
Well, the main reason was that we were very exacting in our examination and the detail by which that examination was done. We were waiting for various specialists to come in and help us with this investigation. We were waiting on toxicology to be returned, and it was just a matter of making sure we had everything right.
Thank you.
Is there another question?
Brian Entin,
Entin.
I believe you're unmuted right now. Okay.
Struggle.
Steve Fabian.
Yes, hi, doctor. How are you? I am curious if any DNA samples were taken from Gabby's remains, and also if the body was intact, are you able to tell us the condition of Gabby's remains?
I can tell you the DNA samples were taken by law enforcement, and all I can tell you about remains is that the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks.
Weird. I guess they're having a little bit of difficulties.
Chris Vivian, do you have your hand up?
Was that a question? I didn't hear the question there. Question.
Hey, it's
Dr.
Gabe.
Blue,
Yes.
it's John Walsh again from In Pursuit with John Walsh. You will probably be the most important witness at the trial. And I asked you before how confident you feel that Brian Laundrie, and they use the semantics. He was a person of interest. I'm old school. He was the only suspect ever. And I just wonder, you're going to be the most important guy at the trial, probably. Do you have any doubts it's Brian Laundrie?
I can't make any comment about any suspects because we are not involved in that part of the investigation. We are only involved in the investigation of the body of the deceased. So who committed the homicide is really to be determined by law enforcement.
Right, but I thank you for your hard work. And I always say in so many cases I've been involved in, let the pathologist and the coroner do their work no matter how long it takes. So I think you've probably done a really good job on this case. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to answer anything.
Hey there,
or
doctor.
speculate.
This is Rochelle Aline with ABC Action News in Tampa. Just a quick question. Can you kind of walk us through the process to how you arrived at this specific manner of death?
In the state of Wyoming, there are 4 possibilities for the manner of death. They are homicide, suicide, accident, and natural. And those are the 4 choices. When we do an investigation, we look at the crime scene or the scene of the death, the scene of the body, the condition of the body, and findings at autopsy and toxicology. And that is how we arrive at the manner of death. So it really depends on lots of different circumstances.
Dr. Stephen Fabian again from Inside Edition. Can you tell us if the body was buried when it was discovered, or if the body was on the surface?
I can't tell you that. That's would be something you'd have to ask the FBI, because we're not allowed to release that information.
Kelly Vaughn. Do you have a question, Kelly Vaughn?
True.
We have Brian Entin in the chat who has a question. What's your question, Brian? Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
All I can really comment about that is that her body was outside in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
KSL assignment, you were unmuted. KSL assignment.
Hello, Dan Rascone here from KSL TV in Salt Lake. Dr. Blue, can you tell us at all whether or not, was it believed that she was murdered there at that location, or is it any indication that her body was drugged there or taken there, or can you give us any indication there?
I can't comment on that. That would be something you'd have to speak with law enforcement or the FBI.
Matthew Sella. Matthew Sella, do you have a question?
Hey, Dr. Blue. It's actually Jimmy from dailymail.com in New York here. What were the results of the toxicology report? And is there any suggestion that Gabby had any drugs in her system? And if so, what were they?
The results of the toxicology are not public knowledge by Wyoming Institute, so I can't comment about that.
Thank you.
We have a question from the chat. Was Gabby Petito pregnant?
She was not pregnant.
I'm glad that he was able to answer that, because people were still going with that. We debunked that and spoke about that as far as the sonogram thing.
Thomas Taupe.
Hi, doctor. My question, did you seek the advice of a forensic entomologist or forensic botanist during the course of your investigation?
The FBI has sent materials to a forensic entomologist.
WPBF 25 News.
Hi, doctor. This is Terry Parker from WPBF in Palm Beach County, Florida. I'm wondering if you said you were very thorough in this autopsy and examination. Could you give us an example of the type of test and analysis as you performed?
This autopsy included a whole body CAT scan, a examination by a forensic pathologist, an examination by a forensic anthropologist, and toxicology evaluation. So we pretty much covered all the bases.
Jeremy Kopis.
Yes, doctor, thank you for taking the question again. You mentioned that strangulation is the cause of death. Can you talk about how you came to that conclusion?
I cannot. That is part of the autopsy findings and is not discoverable by Wyoming statute.
Was there any other cause of death that was a possibility in this case?
Well, we look at all causes, all possibilities when we try to determine cause of death, but this is the cause of death that we determined.
I have a question from chat. It is, was the manner of death obvious? Strangulation marks, bones, injured neck.
Nothing is obvious in a situation like this. So detailed analysis was used both to determine manner and cause of death. I can't go into details on how we made those decisions.
Kristen Thorne.
Yes, hi, Dr. Kristen Thorne with WABC in New York. Could you just please repeat about how long you believe the body was out there? Unfortunately, the last time you spoke, we just didn't get a good film shot of you saying that. Would you mind repeating that?
Our initial determination is the body was in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
Thank you.
Jorge Fitzgibbon. You have to unmute. I believe you're still muted.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Dr. Blue. Relating back to the date of death, is there a date listed on the death certificate?
The death certificate has not been completed at this time, and the death certificates of the state of Wyoming allow for approximate dates and variability in those dates. So I doubt, well, there will not be an exact date of death on the death certificate.
Eileen with News 12.
Hi, doctor. This is Eileen LaPalmer from News 12. We sort of asked it a little bit, but is there a way that you can explain how you know that it was strangulation? Sometimes I know that a hyoid bone could be missing. Is that something that you discovered in this case?
I can't comment on that because it would be a finding of the autopsy. And as I stated before, in the state of Wyoming, the autopsy results are not public knowledge.
So then you can't clarify whether it was manual strangulation or with an item, correct?
That's correct.
Michael Ruiz.
Thanks for making time for us, doctor. Was the entire examination conducted at your lab in Jackson, or was Gabby Petito's body shipped to another facility?
The examination was done entirely at our org in Teton County, Wyoming.
Anna Gregorio.
Gregorio. It's actually Ashley Banfield with News Nation. Doctor, thank you for taking the time today. Can I ask you if from the very beginning of your process, was it obvious that the cause, not the manner, that the cause was strangulation and that you just needed this time to prove it out? Or were you completely unaware from the beginning what the cause of death was for Gabby Petito and had to resolve through a number of puzzle solving manners and other experts to arrive at that final cause determination?
In a situation like this, nothing is obvious. And so the cause of death required investigation.
We have a William Walkie.
Hey there, Dr. Blue. My name is Will. I'm from KHOL Jacksonville Community Radio here in Jackson. You're a small town coroner here in Western Wyoming. This case got so much national attention, as we can see right now. Can you speak on what it was like doing your job with such a big spotlight on you? Thanks.
Well, it was quite the media circus and continues to be. Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence. And it's unfortunate that these other deaths do not get as much coverage as this one. I'm assuming that because the deceased was a blogger, that this received more coverage than others. But there are a lot of both men and women who have lost their lives that aren't covered with this kind of media attention.
Francis DeFiore.
Yes, hello. This is Francis DeFiore from the Port Charlotte Sun. I just want to go back to my previous question, although I imagine your response. Is there anything you can tell us about how exactly you determined it was a 3 to 4 week period before death?
I can't go into that kind of information at this time.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Why don't we take one more question then?
We have the Snack Squad.
Hey, this is Andy Mercado from Mercado Media. Could you go over the length of time the autopsy report took? And thank you for your time, Dr. Blue.
Well, the length of time was involved in the sense that we received a report from the investigating and examining forensic pathologist. We had a report done by our anthropologist, and we had toxicology studies that were done in addition to the report from the radiologic studies. So all these came together, and that's what took time for us to complete this investigation.
Somebody was cursing there. You saw that?
Hi, Doctor. Could you speak to the state of decomposition, and did that at all hinder your investigation?
No, I can't comment on that.
Dr. Blue, would you like to take any more questions?
Unless there's other specific questions that haven't been answered already, why don't we close this? And thank you all very much for your participation. And I can tell you that I will not be answering any other detailed questions about the autopsy. As I said, state statute prevents us from doing that. So
was that?
Contacting me by email and phone is not going to reveal any additional information. But thank you for your time, and I appreciate your interest.
Dr. Blue, I have one more question. Is there a way to determine if this was accidental or deliberate?
You mean in the sense of a homicide?
Yes.
That would be up to law enforcement to make that determination.
Great, thank you.
Again, thank you all very much for your time.
I think there's a fake Brian. Oh Lord, did they really put that there? Oh Jesus Christ.
The recording has stopped.
At least you don't have to feel bad. That happens in all live streams. People have, you can only do your best. but they're dropping N-bombs in there. Somebody, I guess they got in there. I thought it was only media allowed in there, and it looks like the public somehow got in there. And I guess there was a fake Brian Entin in there. Maybe that's why they didn't unmute him. Because somebody was like, effing unmute me. Maybe somebody was trying to like troll their live stream. So a couple of things. Oh, here. Oh, I can see the chat here now. So a couple of things to talk about, and then I want to get into the calls to hear you guys' thoughts. I do want to cover. So there's one kind of thing that I wanted to cover before we do calls, but the strangulation thing, it's not surprising to me. I think it's important that they put that out because so many people have been talking about, you know, with the two other women, Crystal Turner and Kylan Schulte. Make sure. My notes here. They were saying that, you know, because these women were shot. These women were shot multiple times. Part of their clothes were taken off. And so to me, it seems like different MO. A lot of people kept hanging on that. A lot of people were hanging on to John Walsh when he stated at one point, I think in an interview, that she was beaten or something like that. That could still be the case. I don't know. But so far, they're saying strangulation. So sometimes you'd be careful with running with that stuff. I don't know if he said that as an opinion or that he had some sort of inside information. The other thing with the time frame, that actually does fit. Gabby's body was found September 19, and he said the body had been there estimated 3 to 4 weeks. So that does fit in with the confirmed last time she was seen was, I believe, August 27th. Off the top of my head, I believe that was the restaurant incident. I don't know if there's other incidents that day. So it is, that timeline does fit. It's an estimate. You're not going to get an exact time and date, I don't think, you know? There was a statement, thank you guys in the chat that told me about this. So let's take a look at Brian Entin's statement, and then I'm gonna show you this whole bunker thing. We're gonna talk about it a little bit, and then we'll take some calls. But strangulation doesn't surprise me. I've been saying that I feel like he probably snapped. I don't get too caught up in thinking this and that or whatever. I know a lot of people, it's a big conversation happening, but I feel like the guy snapped. And strangulation is like very personal, right? I mean, it takes a while. I don't want to get too graphic, but you're doing it, and you're watching the person, and horrible. Laundrie family attorney, jumping right on it. Mr. Bertolino just texted, Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with an authorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation. Damn, he's just covering himself. Yeah, she was strangled, but, he's just being charged with the credit card thing. Mr. Bertolino, to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he is located, we will address the pending fraud charge against him. Damn. That attorney is just like, to me, I guess it's not his job to, it's just his client is who he's protecting, I guess, but it's something a little more. He's just like, just to remind you guys, just letting you guys know, it's just a fraud charge. And the other thing is, we got the confirmation, which this shouldn't be surprising either, that she's not pregnant. And we did have some calls the other time on one of the streams where people are saying if she was, that's something that they can tell when they do the autopsy. Now, let's just jump into the bunker thing a little bit. I have some videos I'm going to show. But people have been going, they believe this bunker thing. They believe Brian's under the garden bed and that he's laying there. Check out this image that somebody posted. And I don't know if this was real or a troll, but this is what they're saying, that they could have dug inside this garden bed and put a plastic bag, and the guy could have laid. I'm thinking this is a troll, but with everything that's been going on, man, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. A bunker is not impossible. And check this article out. I'm going to show you guys some, 2 video clips. And they even had, I guess, bunker experts or something. Brian Laundrie is probably not hiding out in a bunker in his parents' backyard. A pair of experts in the industry tell Fox News there is a small chance there's there's one somewhere else on the property. Ron Hubbard, CEO of Texas-based Atlas Survivor Shelter, said it's common to build a bunker with a secret entrance for safety concerns, and despite the Laundrie's soggy Florida soil, contractors could easily construct a subterranean chamber that would stay put and keep the water out. It's not a problem. It's another guy that runs the Rising S company that is also based in Texas. You just have to make them heavy enough so they don't float away. And you guys remember, we've talked about this multiple times. I personally don't believe he's there, like in the backyard, or that there's a secret bunker. But in this article, they state that secret bunkers aren't that like rare, I guess. I mean, they used to do that where they don't really tell people. Lynch said it's routine to conceal entrances under bunkers, even under false garden beds. But that didn't appear to be the case in the video. The possibility of having a bunker there, his parents having a bunker, is absolutely 100% plausible, he said. However, that being said, it didn't look like anything if a hand came out of the bunker to me. You probably have 1% or less than 1% of the United States has bunkers, he said. But that being said, if they have a bunker, it could be highly likely. If they have a bunker, it could be highly likely. My own opinion is he's gotten as far away from Florida as possible, which a lot of people have thought about that and think that. Does anybody in the chat still think he's in the Carlton Reserve? I mean, imagine this guy is found there. I just can't imagine this guy being out there all this time, weeks and weeks, searching out there. Many people who install bunkers in their backyard do hide them, he said, and they'll often try to build them without permits. Some even wait for neighbors to go out in order to have them put in without any witnesses. So that's to the people that believe there could be a bunker. Some people do it without permits and try to hide it. It is a conversation that's happening. I don't believe that it's there, but people are talking about it. I've put them in places you would think. There's no way you could hide a bunker here without anybody knowing it, he said. You'd be surprised how creative that we can get. Cost is also a factor. The smallest model, an 8x12 foot mini bunker, runs about $40,000 and can go in within a single workday. In a single day, that would have running water, electricity, and a functioning kitchen. Atlas shelters begin around $400 a square foot, depending on the cost of steel. The garden bed bunker theory is just one of many being floated around by the online sleuths and web crime junkies, whatever you want to call it. So there's two other clips that I want to show you, and this is super interesting. One, I haven't really watched this, but I think somebody sent it to me. And thank you, Rachel. Rachel's been sending a lot of helpful links. So many people have been sending helpful links. I appreciate that. Rachel and just so many others. Momo, Discord, the Discord crew. I'm going to get to super chats in a second as well. And thank you for the new members. But we're going to watch this video. And also, this is, to me, was just so interesting. There's this guy that hid in a bunker for 3 years. And like they show the inside. This guy was a weirdo. But he had a whole setup in there with car batteries. He had like solar panels, which we've spoken about solar panels with regards to Brian. Because Brian, he has on his Instagram he had like a little piece of solar panel and he was charging his cell phone on there. And so this is, to me, just a really interesting watch. So we're going to check that out after we watch News Nation.
Someone who lived it. Seth Ferranti was once on the U.S. Marshals top 15 most wanted list for federal drug trafficking. He evaded authorities for 2 years before he was discovered, even faking his own death. Seth served more than 2 decades in prison, and now he is a free man, and he's also become a writer and a producer. And Seth is joining us tonight live. Seth, great to see you. You were on the run, as I said, for 2 years. You were captured. What were some of the challenges you faced as a fugitive as we watch authorities look for Brian Laundrie tonight?
I would say the most important thing at first, it was just the mental burden. Because, you know, when you have to like leave your whole life, you have to like leave your identity, you have to become someone else and go into isolation and go into hiding. It's a really big mental burden. So that was the first thing I had to overcome, you know, and then the paranoia, you know, the first couple of months when I was on the run, the first 2-3 months, like I was always looking over my shoulder, you know, it was like some cloak and dagger, Mission Impossible type stuff.
I've never been on the run, but I could only imagine the stress that it has to be, especially if you're this guy, Brian, where everybody is looking for you. we covered the Brian Laundrie lookalike. This guy was just like out at a club and everybody's just walking up to him. Hey, are you Brian? Hey, are you Brian? He walks out. People are still walking up to him and questioning him. Everybody is looking for this dude.
And then the third biggest thing, was establishing a legitimate ID. Because, even back then when I was on the run in the early 90s, you needed ID. And even now, you need it more so.
Does it get easier the longer you're on the run to figure things out, the way of life?
Yeah, after about 6 months, once I had established some alternate identities, and I kind of, eased up because, you kind of realize that.
This dude, it says he faked his, self-harm prior to the sentencing. He has a previous history of abuse, substance abuse. Damn.
Maybe there's not any Sherlock Holmes on the force that are tracking, your every movement and know where you are. They're, the cops and law enforcement, they're human. They're just looking for that break. They don't have any type of supernatural powers. So, but once they get that break, they're going to be coming like the cavalry.
Were there times when you were on the run that you thought or you sensed that they were getting close to you and you would make a move?
Yeah, not until the end. Right at the end, like at that 2-year point, I had actually got arrested. So they printed me, so they knew it was me. And then I got back out, and it was like about a week or so. And I could feel the heat then, even though, I didn't see them, I could feel like the walls were closing in. And I'm sure like right now with the scrutiny of this case, I'm sure that's how Brian has to feel, man. I'm sure he can feel the walls closing in on him every day because, even the early 90s, I was top 15 U.S. Marshals list, but I didn't have a tenth of the media attention or a tenth of the scrutiny that Brian has on him right now. Because, this is like all the nation is talking about.
Right. No, and that makes you wonder if he's hiding in plain sight right now. We watched this search in the reserve happening, but if he's changed his appearance at some point, is he right in front of them and they don't know it? What are the chances of that?
I don't know. I think he's holed up somewhere, man. I think he's in an apartment somewhere, or a house. He's with someone, like a safe house. Personally, I think the whole Carlton Reserve thing and his dad going there, I think that was a ruse. They had enough time to plan that. So I think he's with a relative or he's with a friend, that his parents are in touch with. They're probably being super careful about it now, but
I feel like that too. I feel like, I don't know if he's really out in the wilderness. The Appalachian Trail was kind of an interesting thing. I feel like, I don't know, maybe somebody's helping him or he's just held up somewhere.
I do believe that he's close. I believe he's in Florida or, a neighboring state.
Well, based on
very, very close.
Seth, based on what you've seen and having been on the run, how important are allies? Do you need people who are helping you along the way to stay in hiding?
No, definitely you do. Because, the first thing you need money. You need people to bring you stuff. That's why you see so many criminals when they get on the run, they're like so desperate. They're like robbing banks or stealing cars, and that's why they get caught. When you have allies, when you have resources, when you have money, when you have people that are willing to put you up, that's when you can stay on the run for longer. And that's what makes life as a fugitive easier.
Well, and you have to wonder, you're going to need some cash, at least in the initial time, to keep going. You say you were relieved when you were caught. Why?
And I wonder if this is the same guy. I don't know if it's the same guy with the bunker thing. I don't think it is because I saw the charges were different. But this other story as well, the same thing. They said the guy was actually relieved after being completely removed from society.
No, because I was living under these alternate identities. It's like every day or every week I would change IDs. Like it's one day I was this guy, one day I was this guy.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same guy.
And I'm going out. I'm meeting people. I was a young man, so I needed the people. I was a people person, so it was just hard to maintain that facade, because you basically have to lie to everybody, and that's just hard, for me, the type of person I am, just to, maintain that lie and maintain that facade. It was really hard. And, even though I was doing it after 2 years, it took a toll on me. So when I did get caught, I was relieved.
You were relieved. It's certainly a much different time in terms of social media and attention that this case and the search for Brian Laundrie is getting. What do you think? Do you think he's monitoring social media? He's monitoring the news so he can try to stay one step ahead?
Oh, I'm sure he is. You know, I mean, if he's someplace and they got cable TV or they got, you know, streamers, I mean, he's probably watching all the stuff, you know. He might be watching us right now. You never know. And I'm sure he has a burner phone, you know, something.
He might be watching the stream.
You know, that's not.
He's probably in the comments right now commenting under a different name or something.
Registered in his name. So if he does have to have any type of communications.
Wow. Really interesting perspective, Seth. We appreciate your insight tonight. Thank you.
So that was an interesting one. Somebody sent this to me yesterday too. I was browsing on my own and I was sitting there and I'm like, you know what? Let me just look up some bunker videos. And I came across this one and I was like, yo, this is pretty crazy. So we're going to check out this story. Let me just catch up the super chats real quick. Again, I appreciate you guys being here with me. I know everybody's streaming right now. If you wouldn't mind hitting like, I'd appreciate that. It helps the stream out a lot and it helps combat the people that are subscribed with notifications just to hit dislike. But I appreciate those people too. Because they're here before everybody else just to hit dislike. Sometimes like I barely put the stream up and there's like dislike. I'm like, damn, these people are dedicated to hitting dislike. The video hasn't started nothing. Like 24 hours before, they're like dislike. I'm like, damn. Okay. So Suna, thank you for the super chat. I read this earlier. She said, thanks for reporting not only about Gabby, but so many others. Thank you. I appreciate that. I posted a video yesterday that I had to take down because somehow with Jelani Day, they said that his organs, they got so graphic. They said all his organs were removed. And then it's like, oh, nope, that was a mistake. That didn't happen. I'm just kind of like, first of all, how do you even make that mistake about organs being removed? They said his eye sockets, all this horrible stuff. And then out of nowhere, and I read like 2 articles and then they're like, oh, nope, that didn't happen. So after I made the video and I spent several hours doing that update for that video, and then I was including Daniel Robinson, they put that out and I saw that they said no. So I just deleted it because there's just no point in putting that out if they're saying it's not true. I don't know how they do something like that, but it was a little frustrating. So I had a video for you guys last night. I scrubbed it. Denise, I wouldn't want to watch this with any other group. Thank you so much. MH, what's up from Africa? Justice for Gabby. Ali, I ignored all the others and waited for you, Mel. Thank you. Appreciate that. Max Power, awesome coverage. Care my thoughts and prayers to Gabby's loved ones. What an evil thing he did to her. Karen Max, thank you so much. Quantum, thank you, Mel, for always giving us facts and giving us drama free. Yes, I don't like drama. I try to stay away from it as much as I can. Thank you. Dr. Croco News, thank you for the super chat. Grace, thank you. Alice Shea, thank you. Dr. Sherry, nobody can live forever under constant scrutiny. Someone will save their own ass at some point. My bet, Brian, so he can officiate the narrative. Probably eventually. More and more is coming out. Pamela, this case is the same as Kristen Smart. I saw an article that was comparing that story. I never got to cover that, but I have heard of that because that got massive coverage, I think. Here in California, she's been missing for 25 years and they know who did it, but are now just going after him. Wow. Holy crap. Okay. Let's check out this bunker video, man. This kind of
a strange one. How far would you go to escape prison? Well, for a man in Portage County charged with first-degree child sexual assault, child incest, possession of child pornography, and
demonetized.
Also, in other charges, he found a place called Ringgold, Wisconsin, and he spent almost 3.5 years there in solitude in a bunker that he carved himself.
He made a bunker himself.
Sister station in Wausau shows us how a wanted man spent 3 years of his life.
They know it, huh?
The bunker is about 20 feet straight ahead, but you can't see it.
Looks like he carved it right into the hillside and then covered it with logs.
Jeremiah Button cut the tops off some trees and planted others to build the underbrush around this bunker. Detective Jeff Stefanik and Deputy Matt Kecker, who was there Friday night, showed me the way in.
For almost 3.5 years, Jeremiah Button lived behind this store, living off items he found in the landfill a half-mile away.
But it's still very organized. You can see all his food on the left.
There's the faint crackle of a radio inside.
Got a radio. I think he had TV in there.
A fitting soundtrack to the oddity of finding a bunker near the Ice Age Trail in Ringgold, outfitted with everything from electricity to a water filter system.
Always got lights wired through out the cabin.
He's got fans that would circulate air.
Enough space that he was able to survive the winters, obviously, and keep himself warm. And it is stocked full of all of the items that he was able to pilfer from the Marathon County landfill.
Everything from bug spray to laptops and iPads, which he
Yeah, iPhone. Bro, I saw this yesterday. I was just blown away. I was like, what?
powered in a couple ways.
From those 3 car batteries, he has wires running to LED lights and radios and cooling fans, all sorts of electronic equipment.
This bike powered a makeshift generator, but if you come on out to the roof,
You'll have to duck and be careful. It's very tight walking up the side here.
these solar panels powered
There it is.
his car batteries on sunny days, and he even got the news through this makeshift TV antenna.
Something one wouldn't really expect when you find a structure like this in the woods.
To understand why Jeremiah Button was here, rewind to 2014,
Yeah, different guy. That's the best quality.
when he was charged with multiple sex crimes against children. Stefanik says his parents paid his $25,000
You hear that?
bail, which is when he started building this bunker.
He said the initial build took him from the time he got out to the time that he disappeared.
He vanished 2 weeks before the jury trial,
He was not only surviving but thriving.
until Friday, August 9th, when a hunter, Thomas Nelson, walked into his bunker.
I push the door open and I look inside and I can see canned foods, there are little storage boxes, and I'm like, I gotta go in.
Nelson had seen Button in trips to the woods before,
There's no way you could have seen this if you didn't know there was something there.
and he had come back Friday to find out what was going on.
And then I come around the corner a little bit and there he is laying in his bed. I mean, I was shaking when I went in. I was shaking when I went out.
He called police and showed them the way in, and Deputy Kecker tells us what happened from there.
And we actually came to the roof of the structure you see here and called the suspect out
He could have got killed too. I wonder if the guy was sleeping or awake.
to us.
There was a 20-minute standoff, after which Kecker says Button seemed almost glad to turn himself in.
And told us that he was wanted through Portage County for numerous warrants.
I bet that's a long time to live without human contact.
That's a movie, isn't it? That'd be a great one. Well, Button is back in custody, and he's got a pre-trial conference set for September this.
I thought that was interesting. For the bunker people, that's an interesting story, man. People do it. Like I said, I've been out on little ventures multiple times. Almost every time I found something weird out there. I'm telling you, weird, bizarre. For you guys that have been here, you've seen the last video I did when a body was discovered by a canal. The first trip I went, I didn't go too far. The second trip, I ran into like a whole encampment, and it wasn't homeless people. To me, it seemed like they had some sort of operation going on because they had like an aluminum type of structure built there. It was very professional kind of, but there was just people with their shirts off, sweating, working hard, smoke coming up. I don't know what it was, but as soon as I saw it, I recorded a little bit and I dipped out. I was like, I'm not gonna hang around for this. But let's do the calls. I guess let's do some calls. Oh, I did want to show. I can show this real quick, and then we'll set up the calls. So I want to hear what you guys think about the autopsy stuff, and we could talk about the bunker stuff too, or where you think he could be. It's just kind of crazy to me that this guy's been gone all this time. Gone. Nobody can find him. Carlton Reserve is. The Northport police said they didn't find any evidence of him there, but they're still going to be searching. I don't know if you guys heard about this. We'll get on this real quick, and then we'll get to the calls. About this 3-year-old Christopher Ramirez. He went missing, and he was found. He was actually out in the woods.
A 3-year-old boy survives for nearly 72 hours in the woods of Grimes County. He was found nearly 5 miles away from where he first went missing. But how did such a young boy survive on his own? Anieli Ruiz.
I mean, this is kind of not relevant because Brian has been gone for a while, but it's still interesting that even a child and a baby, it's kind of a recent story, survived out there for 3 days.
Spoke to a survival expert and a doctor.
It's what many are calling a miracle. 3-year-old Christopher Ramirez back in his mother's arms after being lost in the wild for nearly 3 days. But could he survive without any help? Ray McKee with Texas Survival School said it's possible.
But kids that are...
I agree, too. Somebody said he's a camper and a hiker. Right. I think he's with somebody probably, or in some sort of place, or maybe a property they have or something, or somebody under another name that's not even connected to the family officially.
Are sort of 6 and younger, sort of statistically have a better outcome with being lost in the woods than what kids kind of between 7 and 12 do.
He says studies have shown that younger kids are less likely to worry about some of the little things.
And they worry less about, the fact that maybe the water smells bad or looks bad, or there may be bugs over here in this little, this log that I'm huddling beside to stay out of the wind. They're more concerned with meeting that immediate physical need. Whereas as kids get older, they start to process things a little bit more.
And when it comes to food, doctors say it's possible.
Children can pretty easily survive without any food, especially if they don't have any medical problems, for over a week.
The biggest concern for doctors is probably a water source for him.
Most people can survive without water for a couple of days, but again, children they have a less long amount of time that they can survive without water.
Experts say he was very lucky he didn't encounter any animals here in this thick brush. And they say the weather was also in his favor.
Sheltering is a big deal, but like I said, the weather was almost perfect for him out here, since Wednesday. The weather's been super mild. It's not been too hot during the day. It's not been too cold at night.
We did reach out to the sheriff. He tells us they don't suspect foul play at this time.
Somebody said 7 days, not my toddler. This is Texas. All right, let's do some calls, man. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Really quickly, just want to say, because I always forget Cash App and PayPal, just to say thank you, because this is from like the 4th that I forgot. Kay Williams, Becky, Melanie, Latonia, and Angeline, thank you for the Cash Apps. And PayPal, I think I forgot since September 30th. Sorry. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Janet, Josh, Catherine, Jane, Sandra, Janet, Ashley, and Brennan. And thank you for Amanda and Philippa for ordering the cups. I got some new stuff coming on the website, but I'm trying to do everything the right way. So there's only 3 things up there. Everything that's up there is I've tested and tried because I want to make sure the quality is good. But all right, let's do call-in. So let me connect real quick. I'm going to mute myself. And here we go.
And can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
Jessica, thank you for the super chat. Says thank you for all your hard work during this. Thank you, appreciate it. These weeks haven't been like this. Last week hasn't been bad. The week before and before that, it was crazy. Like I was literally at my computer all day long, from the morning to like the evening. And the days that I had my daughter, wake up super early, pop out a video, get her ready, take her to school, come back, do a live stream, finish, pick her up, come back, do a video for the night. It was freaking nuts. I'm thankful that it's a little bit been able to breathe a bit, and still juggling multiple stories like Daniel Robinson, Jelani Day, Mia. I feel like there's been somebody else, and I'm working on some more stories. All right, so calls, 3-minute limits. Let's do it. 815. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Michelle, and I'm calling from Illinois.
Hey, Michelle, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hey, I have a little personal side note with this. Unfortunately, my mother was murdered by a domestic violence case, and she was strangled, but it did take some time for the autopsy to come through because her body was left in the desert for quite some time. So my word in on it is that they're probably got it right. It does take some time from a personal perspective, and I think that he's now probably hiding out with family or friends, and now that they know the truth, he'll probably turn himself in, or someone will.
And this was your mother, you said?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Condolences. And I guess that's kind of, I wonder if that's common. I wonder what the statistics are, like how common that is for domestic violence and like strangulation. I mean, I guess it could be all kinds of, but that's like something that's very personal. He had done it before. Oh, he had?
Yeah, he had done it. He done it before to a prior girlfriend. And she actually called the police after my mother became missing. And because it took 2 weeks for the cops to even listen to my story because she was an adult. So they said, she can do whatever she wants. And, hopefully these laws have changed, and social media has definitely helped in, cases of people missing.
Right. Well, thank you. I
So thank you
appreciate
for your show.
input.
Thank you for your time. And I guess hopefully soon he'll get caught.
Thank you. Thanks for calling and sharing. All right. Bye.
Bye.
573. How you doing? Where you calling from? Five 7-3.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome.
I'm Angelica. I'm calling from Missouri.
Hey,
And I
Angelica.
have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. / a comment. Could it be that Brian is with the lawyer? I know that there could be like some type of client privilege where they can't give information, but it would also be against the law. But I just want to know, could he be with the lawyer?
A lot of people have thought that, and I've had people send me like screenshots. I mean, of some of his properties, even like around the office, I guess, like some sort of camper type of vehicle. I've seen things like that. So I believe people do believe that because he was a realtor or something, or he did something like that. So I don't know if he would have him hidden out somewhere or what kind of properties. And sometimes with like LLCs, I don't know too much about the LLC, but there was a story, Marcelo Botello, where I learned that with some people, it can be very confusing and kind of hard to find out who is really the owner of the LLC.
Right. Okay, yeah, it was just something that's been bothering me, and I just wanted to get your take on could it be.
Thanks. And what do you think about the whole?
Thank you.
Thanks, no problem. What do you think about the whole, real quick, the strangulation thing? Is that what you thought? A lot of people were saying shot. There were shots. People were talking about bullet holes and all this stuff at the scene.
I kind of think strangulation, but I also kind of think maybe he hit her in the head harder than what he anticipated, and then just lost it from there. Okay. But I don't know. I wish the coroner could have gave us a little bit more information. He was kind of being, he could have gave us a little bit more, but, I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate the call.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Okay. Let's keep it rolling. 978. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hello. This is John. I'm calling from California.
Hey, John. Welcome.
Thank you. So in response to the last caller, I would think, obviously you can't rule out everybody, but I would think that someone that's well-versed in the law and is a lawyer is not going to put themselves in that jeopardizing of a situation for Brian Laundrie.
Right.
I just don't see that. But at the same time, you can't rule everything out. I do think, though, the reason I was calling in was what interests me is to know, I keep money at my house.
A 3-year-old boy survives for nearly 72 hours in the woods of Grimes County.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I had a video play by accident. Can you repeat that last sentence?
Yeah, I said so. I keep cash on hand at home. I'm not going to say how much, but I think a lot of us do. And so who's to say that Brian's dad didn't have $10,000 in cash in his bedroom that he just gave Brian? And I think that he's long gone from the Carlton Reserve. He's long gone from Florida, in my opinion, and I think he's probably long gone from the United States. And that's just my opinion, but I would be really interested to, because you can't really track that money as easily. So
oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
that's something that I'd be interested in. And then the strangulation thing, it's sad. I unfortunately I thought that's what was the way it was gonna go.
I was
anyway.
thinking something like that too. Yeah.
Exactly. It's sad, but it's often the way that it happens. But one thing that I did want to get your take on was, what did you think about the guy, the coroner, not to call him the guy, the coroner not really given the not too much info, and then slipping up at the end and bringing up domestic violence? What do you think about that?
Well, him not giving much information doesn't surprise me at all. I'm even surprised he did a press conference, like a coroner doing a press conference. But yeah, I honestly didn't even think they were going to release the results because I thought they were going to save some of that for the case, and I guess that's why he just said very little. And I don't think he slipped up with the domestic violence. I think, well, I mean, maybe you could see it like that, but he was talking about that there because this was clearly some sort of domestic violence issue that they were having just from the police video, from the restaurant issue. And so I think he was just trying to say that because they were asking him about, you know, the attention. How do you feel about the pressure of all the media? And he responded like, you know, the media circus and everything. But there's a lot of other people as well that have died or, you know, from domestic violence. I think that's kind of what he was saying. So I didn't take it as a slip up.
I get that. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. See, for me, maybe I'm just being a little too sinister, but I think I took it as like a Freudian slip, if you will, you know.
Yeah, no, it's interesting you say that, you know, because a lot of times too I don't catch things, especially if I'm doing a live stream. I'm listening, but sometimes I'm watching so many different screens, and so I don't hear everything, and I have to go back and listen. But yeah, man, thanks for your call, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for what you're doing, man, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. To his point too, and I'm going to get to the calls. That's true about the cash thing. It's probably good to have some sort of cash or whatever. I remember one hurricane in Florida that was coming, that everybody went and took cash out of the ATMs, and I kind of went late on in to do it. I found cash, but it took like 2 or 3 ATMs. You know, there could be a situation one day where everybody's scrambling to take all their money out of their accounts, and you have nothing, no cash on hand, kind of thing. And I usually don't keep cash on hand. 715, how you doing? Where you calling from? 715. Hey.
Hi there.
Hey, welcome. How you doing?
I'm going to try to be I'll try to be as calm as possible.
Okay.
As far as your stats, you're onto the right track there. There is statistics that prove that a woman that is not fatally strangled, you know, laid hands upon her neck, is more likely to be killed by an intimate partner. That's a fact. That's a study. You can Google it. I hope everyone does. I want to impress upon everybody that the coroner did not mistakenly mention domestic violence. This is most absolutely a domestic violence case. The police in Moab, I have so many words for them as well. But right now, the focus is on Gabby, and this is only the beginning, people. And all of the domestic violence survivors out there, I'm calling out to you now. Get to Twitter, get to social media, tell your stories. It's time. Time's up for all of it. All of the Bryans out there, time's up.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Maybe I wasn't as calm as possible, but I'm
no,
really,
it's okay. I can
I'm
tell
a survivor.
You. Okay.
And, yeah. And I'm in warrior mode now because no one is ever going to hurt me again. I feel so bad for this girl. I have 4 daughters of my own, and everybody needs to talk about domestic violence to their children, not to do it, not to put up with it. Get out now. Don't walk, don't run. In fact, I have a horrific, I won't even, I'll private message you because you won't even believe what I've been through and what I'm still going through from the state of Wisconsin. But my hearts go out to Gabby's parents. I love everybody in the chat, in your group, everybody. Keep speaking out.
Thank you. Appreciate the call and sharing your story. Yeah, go ahead. I guess if you either email me or if you want to send it on Facebook, like through DMs, either or is fine.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Well, thank you. Okay, take care.
Take care.
Yeah, I can tell she's coming from a place where she's dealt with that. 718. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mel. It's Momo.
Hey, what's up? Welcome.
So I wanted, thanks. I really, I'm sorry I got thrown off by your previous caller. And I just want to send healing prayers to her. But I wanted to speak on what the coroner said that Gabby was, she was dead for about 3 weeks before they found her. And I wanted to see 3 or 4 weeks. And I wanted to see if that kind of lined up when she last spoke with her mom. Because remember, her mom was the last person she FaceTimed. And also, I don't know, like, I was sitting here looking at some news articles and, you know, just looking at some videos yesterday about what was going to happen today with the press conference, and everybody was 100% sure that he was not going to disclose the manner of death.
I didn't think so either. I was surprised.
And so I'm very surprised that he disclosed the manner of death. And I'm wondering if by him disclosing the manner of death, does this somehow cripple the case even more than it already is? Because a lot of people were saying, a lot of journalists were saying, you know, well, he's most likely going to hold off. The FBI is not going to release it because, you know, these are details only the person who, you know, committed the crime. These are the details that they would know. And so the fact that they released it, I feel like that's really going to cripple this case even more. But that's the only two things I have to say.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mama, for calling.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye. Okay. 918. How you doing? Where are you calling from?
Hello. I have a couple of statements. First of all, even though the coroner released that it was manner of strangulation, I believe that there's other indications that he did not release. Furthermore, I think there might be a secondary manner of death that he alluded to. Maybe like in addition to strangulation, maybe there's more to it. And then secondly, you know how Brian came home, flew home, emptied out the storage unit, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Then they went camping.
Right.
Okay. Any receipts or anything like that, or any kind of burner phones or anything like that, that he retrieved from, let's say, the storage unit and all? Well, you know, when you're roasting marshmallows, you got a fire.
Right.
So who's to say he didn't throw all of that for his family, his parents? All that paper burns.
I had a friend of mine thinking the same thing about the camping thing that they all went on. Mm-hmm. He said that he felt like maybe they were getting rid of stuff or whatever.
Mm-hmm. All that stuff burns. So there is not going to be any trash that can be retrieved or, you know, any of that stuff. All that stuff's going to be gone. But as far as a coroner, I just think that is there such a thing as a secondary manner of death, or is there, you know, additional type of stuff like that? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I mean, there could be like multiple things could have happened. I mean, I've heard on different cases, like multiple things happen, but the ultimate thing that caused the death, like they'll say whatever it was, you know?
Yeah.
I've heard of things like that.
Like the first, you know, like the first, it would be the strangulation, but then like there was a build-up, like the main was strangulation, but then there would be other types of things that caused, you know, in addition to the strangulation. Like, I'm not putting this on Gabby, rest her soul, but like beating, or there was other manners that took place that also caused the death within itself, other than just the strangulation. That's what I think there is. I think there's more to it than just the strangulation. And that's why I don't think he played his whole hand. Just my opinion.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I mean, for sure, I believe they probably they had some sort of altercation. You know, for sure, I believe that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what kind
absolutely.
Or what. Yeah. I mean, they were on that trip together in that small vehicle, and they were already on edge, and they were having issues. I mean, I've had that in previous relationships. The best thing you can do is stay away, but you don't, and then you're just together and you just keep building up and building up and building up. You know, of course, it shouldn't lead to death.
Because you remember when they said, when they first saw her, they immediately could tell that it was a homicide. So for them to immediately tell it was a homicide.
I believe that they could tell it was a homicide, but they weren't. I think he said they couldn't immediately tell that it was strangulation. Like he had to do his test. I think that's what he said.
So, right. So you have to know that there's other signs of trauma. So that would lead me to believe that there was more to it than just strangulation was the main cause of death. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I was alluding to. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway, love your show. You were the first one that turned into to hear the report, but that was those are my opinions.
Thank you.
Anyway, love you, Mel.
All right. Love you too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right. A couple more callers. 573. How you doing? Where you calling from?
This is Kathy Mowry, and I'm from Missouri.
Hey, welcome, Kathy.
So how are you doing today?
Pretty good. I mean, I'm not really surprised at all to hear this. I mean, I'm surprised at the press conference. I was like, before they announced, I wasn't expecting it. I didn't even think they were going to tell us, to be honest. But
well, I didn't either, but I wasn't surprised at what they disclosed. It was all old news. If you think back on it, because
besides
in
the strangulation,
beginning,
yeah.
Well, the strangulation, not so much, but in the beginning they said that she had been beaten and that it was homicide.
They didn't say she was beaten. That was Walsh, John Walsh, and everybody just ran with it as a fact. They didn't say she was beaten.
Okay, well, yeah, but they said it was a homicide.
Mm-hmm.
And it made sense. And if you think about it, being beaten is a crime of passion as well as strangulation. There has to be love to have a crime of passion. And he loved her. She was falling out of love with him, and that's why the breakup. And he was angry at her for that. So I can see the strangulation. I don't agree with it. I was a victim of domestic violence for 12 years, and statistics show that a woman will stay with their abuser for 7 to 12 years before they do something about it.
That 12 years, that was with one person? Or was it multiple, like, relationships?
No, that's one person.
Oh, wow.
And, well, it's hard because they get you to believing they're right. And you get to a point where you don't believe in yourself anymore. And it makes it that much harder to run from it. But anybody that's out there, please get your information together. Get your kids' stuff together. Have a plan. Because if they're hurting you in the beginning, it's only going to get worse. It really is. You need to get out of there. Don't stay like I did. Because it only gets worse. And you could end up with either dead kids, or dead you, or dead your whole family. And you don't want that. But anyway, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, thank you for sharing that.
But, well, you're welcome. But anyway, back to Gabby.
Well, we're past the 3 limits. I'm sorry. You can make one more point, and then we have to move on to the next one. You could email me though, if you want, or DM me if you like sometime.
Okay. It just this whole Gabby thing, the whole laundry, except maybe for Cassie, because for some reason I believe her family is torturing her right now. They need to be shut down. They need to be at least in jail until they find Brian. And then Brian needs to answer questions until his family are exonerated. And that's all I got to say right now. I mean, I could say more, but thank you for your time.
No problem. Take care.
And
Take care of yourself.
Have a great week.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, 814. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Hey, welcome.
I was wondering. Hi, I watch you every single day, and I think that it's absolutely amazing what you do.
Thank you.
And covering the stories for people that aren't able to speak for themselves. So just wanted to say that, but also wanted to know what you think about the coroner giving very, very little, but also a lot.
Like kind of like I said earlier, it doesn't surprise me. I'm glad that some of this came out, that they were able to release some of us. I mean, some of the information, because I think that I still wonder about the whole crime scene thing. When people did show images that kind of looked like bullet holes, but I don't know what that was, and maybe it doesn't seem like that. There were a lot of evidence markers, which actually could be an indication of something else, which I don't want to get too much into. Maybe it was, blood stuff or whatever. I don't know. But I think at least this kind of helps a little bit, and maybe kind of gives people a little bit more clarity, even though there's a whole bunch still missing. I don't even think they really need to do a press conference for that, because they were trying to ask, but the guy really can't say much. So it's not surprising to me. Not surprising.
Well, I had figured from the beginning that it was probably something of the sort, because he seems like a coward. I was a domestic violence survivor, and from the previous lady, that's kind of how my story was. It was 12 years of it, but I did get out. They had a way of making you feel weak and that you can't live without them or survive without them, but also there's men that are abused every single day. There's men that go through the same exact thing.
Very true.
But today, you've heard more from domestic violence from women, but it's both ways. But I do see her as being that type, just with how her emotions were whenever she was pulled over and everything. That's typical for them to take blame. I did for 12 years. Still am today, even though we're not together. But I'm glad that, I just wanted to make a point that I'm glad that they finally did come out and say what had happened to her, and hopefully then this credit card thing will turn into a search warrant for her death. So,
right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Bye. There's a couple more callers. I suspended the calls for now, so mods don't put out the number anymore, because I want to get through these calls and not have people holding for so long. Brian Entin posted this. So you guys remember when we were doing the live stream when we started, somebody under his name was like, "Effing unmute me," and somebody was dropping the N-bomb. In a live stream environment, it's never going to be perfect. I know people sometimes have that expectation. It's not going to be a perfect place where nothing goes or nothing happens. That's just how it is. Only thing we can try to do is, handle some of the situations. But apparently, it says that someone hacked my name on the coroner's chat and asked horrible things. I'm told it wasn't me. It was in the chat section where my questions were typed. So that's interesting. I don't know how somebody would hack him, but I guess maybe they got access, or they just lied and said it was him. Oh, Jesus. You see? For the people that always complain, well, may not go there. But I'm telling you, all this kind of crazy stuff happens. There was somebody the other day that got really upset. I was looking at, I got this email. I'm going to take the next call in a second. I got this email about somebody upset that I didn't make them a mod or something. And because they had acts and I added other people. And so there's 3 or 4 or 5 emails pissed off, and that the mods don't know what they're doing, and they're on another channel and they get more views, and the mods don't know what they're doing. Just really like multiple going back to back to back. And I'm like, damn, I don't know, people get disgruntled and lose themselves over that. definitely don't want you as a mod over here. Why would I want somebody crazy like that? You know, it's just for the littlest things, people just, you know, it's like, wow. 229, how you doing? Where you calling from? $229, you're live.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, this is Tina calling from Chattahoochee, Florida. How are you?
Hey, Tina. Good. Welcome.
Thing I wanted to say, the quickest way to end a relationship is to take a road trip together. But strangulation, that's what I expected her. Remember when Gabby and Brian got stopped by the police? She told the police he grabbed her by the neck. He grabbed her by the neck.
Right. That's a good thing to note. That's true. Yep.
So strangulation is probably his MO. But great job that you're doing. I've been watching day one, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was laughing at the chat. I was just so surprised that it was like paragraphs, yo, like back to back. I'm like, damn, it's not that serious. I'm just like, wow. You didn't make me a mod, and I'm on another channel with more views. And you didn't pick me, so now. And then complaining about another mod. I was like, what is wrong with some of these people? Like borderline obsessed. And then that person was like harassing and stalking the other mod. I was like, what the heck? Go worry about the other channel you're on. Jesus. Not into the drama here. 863, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Calling from Lakeland, Florida.
Hey, welcome.
I've only been a fan for a little while, but I love your channel.
Thank you.
I kind of quit watching the other channels. I suffered domestic abuse years ago. Thank God I got out. When my daughter was a year old, I served in divorce papers. Best thing I ever did. But I think she died the day that they had the argument at the restaurant, to be honest with you.
I think that day,
she went back in and apologized. And I think he probably thought, how dare you apologize for something I did? Because that's what mine used to do. You know, we would go somewhere if we got into an argument, and how dare I apologize for what he did? I had flashbacks.
Right. At the restaurant, right? They were saying that she was apologizing for him, I think.
Exactly. I mean, he went back in and showed out. There was witnesses, and I think they argued. I think that was when he lost it, and I think that was her demise. I think, you know, that I think he really, really lost it on her because of that. And I think, you know, I think that's when she lost her life, because I think that, you know, according to her friend Rose, you know, when they were in Florida before they ever took the trip, you know, I think he was paranoid schizophrenia, because she said that he would hear voices and she would go to her friend's house to get away from him. And I think, you know, that the worst thing they could have done was went into that small van and went on that trip, because who was she going to go to when he heard the voices on the trip? She had nowhere to go. And
that voices thing was weird.
Yeah, I mean, whenever, you know, where was she going to go in the wilderness, you know, to get away from his voices? You know, and she was trapped with him in that small space. And when she was apologizing for his behavior, I think he lost it on her, and he just snapped and he killed her. And another thing I've been thinking about, when they were on the camping trip with the parents, I work with children with special needs for the school system. Kids hear everything. Cassie's children know more than what they realize. Them children know more than what people think. I think if they had a psychologist talk to them children know what happened to Gabby, because the parents talked about what happened, and I know them children overheard. Kids hear a lot. We don't think about it. You have a small child. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, they listen. They're listening, too. When you think they're not, they're listening to everything.
Yeah. In Cassie's interview, she said, you know, my children overheard, and they heard how Gabby died from y'all, and they know what happened to Gabby, and they know Gabby's dead because of y'all. And the dad stood there and said, you can't hear y'all inside my house. How did the kids know that Gabby was dead? They did not hear the protesters. Their father stood there in the yard and said, we can't hear you in our house. them kids heard what they said on that camping trip, and someone needs to talk to them children and find out what them children heard. Them children are living through a terror of their own because they heard them adults talking about him getting away and what he did to her on that trip.
Yeah, that's a very, like, I don't know if they'd be able to even do that just legally and all that stuff.
They could with a court order. They could with a court order. They could get a child psychologist to talk to them children and find out what them children have heard and what them children know.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate the call.
Them children know what, them children overheard something. Them children, I guarantee you, them children know something. The children heard more than what them parents are willing to admit.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the call and your feedback.
Love you.
Thank you, too.
Love you, Mel.
Love you, too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I don't want people showing up to the house now for the kids. I know what she means, and she's saying it clearly, but some of these people, they'll show up over there. All right, we want the kids. Yeah, bring them out here. You know. 417, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from Missouri. I feel like everyone
Missouri.
is today.
I know.
So I wasn't surprised, I guess, that she was strangled. It kind of felt like a gut punch, though. I was expecting it, but I don't know. It just hit a little weird. But the whole Zoom call was kind of a disaster. I'm not sure why they did that. They were asking him the questions over. Anyway, I
think they, for what he said, they probably shouldn't have even taken questions. I mean, he answered, I think, a couple of them, but maybe he just should have said what he said and that's it and close it out.
Yeah, he cleared up the pregnancy thing, but
that's good. That is good. I thought, yeah. Even though for most of us, we didn't. I mean, at first, at one point, it was a thought, but then we saw that that's not what it was. That picture on the piece of wood,
right.
That's like a caution thing or something, whatever they call it. But I mean, it's good anyway that at least he's cleared that out.
Yeah, because some people were not going to believe that, and hopefully they believe him.
What do you think about the bunker? You think the bunker thing? Any the flower bed? Is Brian just laying there in the flower bed with his hand out for supplies and just staying still all this time?
No. I mean, anything's possible. I know people have bunkers and they do it like on the DL. Like
and they did say a flower bed is a thing, though, right? Like a hiding entrance kind of thing for bunkers. I think that's what I read in the article. So maybe that's what people are thinking.
Maybe. I mean, I've watched the Doomsday Prepper shows. They had like tunnels from their house that their kids had to climb through. I don't know. You can do a lot of crazy things apparently. But I just wanted to say, I don't know, the whole Zoom call was kind of, I don't know, it seemed like an SNL sketch, and I mean that in the most respectful way because I know this is very serious. But like,
which thing?
Brian, the Zoom call.
Oh yeah.
Brian got hacked. John Walsh kept asked the same.
I was surprised John was there. Yeah, I was like, what? And yeah, he was asking things. This guy's not going to speculate about his thoughts on Brian. The coroner.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they had the press conference, let everyone know, but I don't know why they did that. I don't know. It's just really weird. That's all I wanted to say is like, it sucks. That's a terrible way to die. It's really personal and awful.
Yeah. And it's, I guess, kind of slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he must have been just raged. I wonder, because people still feel it's premeditated. I feel like the guy snapped. I mean, I don't know.
I agree with you and the previous caller that it happened the day. I think it happened.
Yeah, 27th. I'm thinking.
At the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems like the most. I don't know. This whole thing is really sad, and I'm sorry to the family. But thanks for keeping everybody updated.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for calling and participating. It helps the show, so thank you.
No problem. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Just a couple left. 786. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I haven't called any show in my life, so I'm calling from Denver, Colorado. Thank you, and thank you so much for everything that you've been doing with this case and every other case. I just had a couple of just questions. Will we ever find out, like, if Gabby ever, like, tried to fight back when she was being strangled, like, broken fingernails, bruises in her knuckles? Like, would we ever find that out?
I think if they were one day, maybe, and once the trial happens, if it happens, maybe they would at that point. I don't know. And maybe that's why, because I would wonder too if there was a fight, maybe did Brian have some marks on him and stuff like that?
Right, like bite marks, right?
Anything,
right.
yeah.
Or scratch marks, like in the previous Moab incident, like he had marks, you know.
Right.
And then I'm also wondering, like, why isn't he a suspect? Like, legally speaking, why is he still a person of interest? Is it because they haven't found, like, evidential reason to suspect that he was, in fact, the killer?
I saw there was one video. So I'm not an expert in this stuff or that knowledgeable, but I saw a video.
Me neither.
I saw
I'm hoping
a video.
like a commenter or a caller calls and answers these questions or something.
There was somebody on News Nation that I think was like a Florida attorney, and I believe he said that the reason they haven't charged him with more. I mean, I don't know what they have, but there's like, I guess, a time limit. So it doesn't make sense just to start charging him with all this stuff and they don't even know where this guy's at. So it seems like they just got him on this little credit card fraud thing. I believe if they catch him, I think things will increase. Or if they find him, I think the charges will be upped. It happens a lot of times too. They don't charge with everything they believe at the start.
Right.
I think it's just something right now. Yeah.
Right.
I think it has something to do with that.
And then also, like, I don't think it was premeditated. Like, I don't think, like, it was like, okay, I'm going to, you know, do this at this time. You know, I don't think it was premeditated. I do think, though, that it was intentional, because I've never been strangled before, thank God, but I would imagine it takes a long time to kill somebody through strangulation. You know, it's not like 5 seconds, not like a gunshot to the head. You know, so he must have, like, meant to kill her. You know, it wasn't like, okay, I'm strangling her, oh snap, I'm hurting her, let me let go. Like, he continued on with it. You know what I mean? And that to me is just so sad. You know,
yeah,
I do feel they did get into. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was just gonna say. I guess this kind of takes out for the people that thought, well, maybe this was just an accident or something. You know, like, or you know,
I don't
pushed
think it was
her
an
or she
accident.
tripped or whatever. So this kind of takes a little bit away from that and more intention. You know, this website too, DomesticShelters.org. It says that it can take less than 10 seconds for a person to lose consciousness as a result of strangulation, and death can occur in under 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. There you go. So
it takes a while.
Shorter, I guess.
Yeah. It does take a while. I mean,
a while.
Depending on how long before the person becomes unconscious, but
right.
I mean, it's
and
very, very personal.
Girl.
Yeah, if she's a small girl, I mean, you could stop at any moment, you know, but clearly didn't.
Yeah, and the whole bunker thing. I lived in Miami. I was born and raised in Miami. I don't think he's at the bunker. Personally, I think that his family, either he has a family friend, a close lawyer friend, someone in his family is covering for him, because his parents are not even worried for his well-being. You know what I mean? Like, even if even if you know that your child did something bad, you still want to make sure he's at least safe, right? And not being harmed, right? So the fact that his parents are gardening, you know, they seem nonchalant, like picking up baskets outside their door, checking the mailbox. Like, it doesn't seem like they're worried for his well-being. And that to me is suspicious. It's a bit concerning as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mel. And keep it up.
You did good. All right, thanks. Take care.
God bless you, man.
You too.
Bye.
God bless. Bye. 4 more callers. I kind of want to work through them. I'm seeing all the stuff that this fake Brian Entin account was saying. Bruh, it's crazy. It's crazy. I really thought only the media was allowed to get in there. I guess everybody just jumped in. 347, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, how's it going, man? How are you?
Man.
My name's Adam. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Hey, Adam. Welcome in.
I was just calling to touch on something that the coroner said. I think people aren't giving the coroner enough credit. I think that he told us a lot in what he said. I feel like the information that he gave us was, because you have to think, why would he release this information, right? There was a woman who called earlier saying that it may have hurt the case.
Right.
I don't think they'd be that silly to release information that would hurt the case. I think they have all the evidence they need to book Brian. And I think the reason why they would release this information would probably to put pressure on anybody who was harboring him.
Good point.
He may have came home and told his parents, any form of lie to make himself seem innocent. Now, when it comes out that she was strangled, it's like, hey, wait a second, Brian, you're not innocent.
That's a really good point.
I think that was the reason why they did that, was to put pressure on, because he could be laid up somewhere lying about what happened, but now the truth comes out, and now they don't want to help him anymore. I think that's the reason. I'm sure they wouldn't jeopardize the case. I also wanted to touch on the parents a little bit. A lot of people, when they see the parents, they see no emotion from them. I kind of see people who are disgusted. I see people who almost don't want to be bothered. I see people who probably do know what their son did and are just disgusted, almost as though they don't even want to be part of it. I'm not saying that they didn't help them. They probably did. I think I firmly believe that they did. But I don't see them as... I see them more as just not wanting to even be a part of it, more than anything. Not necessarily that they don't care, or... Because you have to understand, this is their son, so they're going to do whatever they have to do for their son.
Right. I mean, like you said, maybe he didn't tell them everything. Maybe he made up some story or whatever.
He could have lied to get a little bit of cash to get away. And now that they found out she was strangled, whoever he's laid up with, whoever's helping him, they're going to say, wait a second, Coroner just said you strangled her.
Right.
I think that's the reason. I don't think they'd be that silly to release information that would hurt the case. This is too big a case. It's too full-size. Everybody's watching. You're not going to fumble the ball on this one.
Right, right. Oh, great call, man. Yeah, really good points.
I know you're doing a great job out there. I want to say thank you to all the women who've called also and shared their stories. I could hear it in their heart how much it hurts to share. You women are strong, Mel. You're doing a great job. Thanks for everything you do,
man.
brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Take it easy.
You too. That was a good call. That was interesting and simple point. I like simplicity, but it rings. It's true what he said. I think that makes a lot of sense. 475, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Pennsylvania. How you doing?
Molly Golightly.
What'd you say?
This
It
is
broke
Molly
up.
Golightly.
Oh, snap.
This is Molly Golightly.
Oh, snap.
Yes, it is. How are you?
Good. Thanks for calling. I remember last time you said you were on the line, or you were trying to call. I'm not sure what happened because I don't know your numbers, so I was trying to look for it. But anyway, yeah, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts is, number one, I think your channel is fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks.
Fantastic.
I appreciate that.
I think you're doing an amazing job updating these people and letting these people say what they need to say. I'm just going to give you, since people keep talking about, the Cassie Landry thing, and I can answer any of those questions. I was there Saturday.
Yeah, how was it?
When I left, okay, so this is what happened. On Friday, this is the real story. Now, I have a news crew coming over to my house, all right? Then they're going to want me to pretty much say the same thing, but I'll say it here anyway. This is what really happened. I got a layover, and I missed the plane. So I got there a day late. I was supposed to be there all day Friday, so I got my rental car. I didn't go to the hotel. I was there for hours outside with the press, the cameras, and another YouTuber came up to me. I was standing there for hours with the heat. It was insane. These people are just like, they stay in their house, they don't come out. I went to get out of the heat, and there was no one when I came back with that basket. And that's where I had filled up the laundry things. I never knew in a million years that it was going to be on the news and people would be talking about this basket, which as of an hour ago, my basket is still in front of the laundry house.
Wow.
It's still in front of the BLT. Yes, they never picked that up. Now, the next day was the protest on Saturday. And everyone that was there said, oh, hell no, we ain't getting nothing done here. We're fixing to go to Cassie's. Now, by the time I got to the Cassie laundry, because she lives up, and she lives in a much nicer neighborhood, there was shade, and that guy Jonathan was sitting in a chair. We had food, we had donuts, we had the cops, and all of her neighbors were outside watching. They were terrified. So I don't need a megaphone, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't even grab that. I was like, this megaphone. Are you crazy? I'm from Jersey. I'm Puerto Rican. Excuse me. So we went there, and I was fixing to tell Cassie about herself, and I'm ready to go back down there and tell Roberta about herself. I want to go back down there because she came out on Sunday, and she said, my kids had to learn about their aunt dying because of you people on Saturday. No. When Jonathan was sitting in that chair with the megaphone and everyone was watching, I was pretty quiet. I was really quiet. And I just let them do their thing. And I was, holy shit. And one of the things that he said was, whether you're home or not, we know you have a Ring doorbell and you're going to come back to this. But the truck was there. So I looked at him and I said, hold on, Sugar Plum. You're telling me that these people might not be inside? Oh, hell no. So I went up and I rang the doorbell and I knocked on the door. And people were freaking out on YouTube saying, oh my God, arrest her. You can't arrest me for
you knocked on the door?
Doorbell.
Oh, you rang the doorbell. Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. On Cassie's house.
Yeah. Oh, I totally walked away. And then a cop approached me and he goes, ma'am, don't, what do you go? I go, well, hey, Jonathan said that we didn't know if they're in there. He goes, it's true. He goes, but we verified that they do come in and out. I said, I don't want to stand there like yesterday where it seems like I'm talking and yelling at an empty house. Now, when I left that basket at the BLT's house on Friday, what people don't know is I was quiet the whole time, but then when everybody left and I brought back the basket, I was placing the flowers. I was fixing them. I put the basket there and my knee was in mud. I saw someone at the window. And that's when I lost it. I went nuts. I was like, oh, hell no. And you want to know something? Brian Entin did not get the whole thing on, but I was reacting to what I saw in the window. So it's not like I came down there to start yelling. You get what I'm saying?
Right. It was like a 2-minute clip. I have it on the screen so people can see. Yeah, Molly Golightly's on YouTube. Yeah.
I saw your reaction. You were like, holy crap. No way. I thought I was laughing. I never thought that was going to happen. But Brian Entin was never outside until only that one time where I turned around, and when I turned around, I saw all of these people with cameras. And that's why I went, oh, God. Yeah. I was like, shoot. And then I saw Brian Entin, and I'm like, whoa, he's a handsome little gentleman, isn't he? But he came out from the air conditioning. So the side of the house is Brian Entin. That's rented out for $3,500. Directly across from that house is the FBI. Move over across the street, and that's Fox News, is directly in front of the BLT house.
Wow.
And the woman and the people that live next to the BLTs on their right, our left, they didn't give up their house. They didn't give up their house. She comes out with her attitude, her flip-flops and her mask to put out her recycles, slamming garbage bags, but she doesn't say anything to us. But my point of yelling and telling, these people, who do you think you are, is because on my channel, I like to talk about, well, I don't like talking about it, but I do, other cases. And what they cut out is the fact that I said, we could be trying to work on kids' cases, but you're holding us up. How dare you? Who do you think you are, not cooperating? So it was all about cooperating with the police. And I know a lot of people think that Cassie was lying, but I'm grateful that Cassie and her husband came out and talked to, and you know what? I was already in the air when that happened, but I really was supposed to be there.
Okay.
I had to, because I lost that first day.
How long were you there?
On the way over. But I got there Friday, and I had to leave Sunday, but I spent the whole time. I didn't even get all the good stuff on, of me freaking. I got a video of me putting the basket together, but I never got any of those wild tidbits, and I never thought it was going to be like in the New York Post and on all these.
Yeah, I don't think Brian knew who you were. I think he said he didn't know who you were. He just seen somebody, so he started recording.
Nope. And the thing is Ashley Banfield was like, oh, all these people are going to come out for attention, blah, 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 blah. But he didn't know who I was. I said my name is Marissa Zadinsky. I didn't say Molly Golightly.
Right.
But I don't even know who Molly Golightly is anyway. I'm just a baby fennel. Change the channel. But you want to know something? I'm glad that those people hurt me. And you want to know something? There's been 2 times that I've been like, I'm itching to go back down there. I'm itching to go back down there. And my husband's like, don't do it. I want to see what's in the backyard. I want to jump over that fence in sneakers, cut my nails off, and just go at it and see what's underneath that flower bed. Because now you got my mind going. Now, I know I could catch a charge. I get that, and that's fine. But it would be completely justified, okay? These people have done far worse. And hopefully people will be screaming from the streets, let Marissa go, let Marissa go. But the thing is you know what I mean? FBI, can you do us a favor and just go check? Why is that little flower bed so...
What do you think about this whole Carlton Reserve thing? Like, I mean, nothing's come from there. They said they're still going to keep searching. No sign of Brian. Nothing to believe. Huh?
Nothing. Nope. Nothing. Yeah. $3 million. One of the things that I kept shouting over and over again is I want to be here when they slap you, Miss Roberta, with a $1.2 million bill for this search. Who do you people think you are? Blah, blah, blah. They're listening. And part of me thought that they liked the attention, but last night when they came out and collected the baskets or whatever, or the night before, they didn't take my basket. And it was just shown on White Boy Lockdown. They were just there about an hour ago, and they were like, Marissa, your basket's still there. They took Gabby's sign, and they took the empty laundry baskets. Why is mine still there? And to clarify something else, and this is why the New York Post and all these, The Sunday reached out to me, was because people were raging that I left that basket at Gabby's memorial. Gabby's memorial is being taken down right now as we speak. And it's not out of disrespect. It's because of the elements. It's raining in Florida every day, and it's really sunny and hot. Let's say something. It's no walk in the park standing outside of the BLC.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was horrible. It was horrible. I came home excessively parched and dehydrated. I was sunburnt, and I was worn down. I was emotional. I was a wreck. And I did it. Like, when you're in that mode, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're saying. And me, I tend to be reactive and emotional. And something made me go down there, and it makes me want to keep going back, because I really want to see Roberta. I know I believe that she has a lot to do with this cover-up and the silence. And I don't believe, even though it's the law, I don't believe that she has the right to remain silent. Not when this much money is being spent and there's so much coverage that we can't talk about other topics that are really, honestly, more important. And I do believe that domestic violence should be taken more seriously. And I tell you, the only reason I went down there is because I saw that video on how he was manipulating those cops, and I was like, oh, they want to hang out inside their house, don't they? Oh, really? And then impulsively, I booked the trip, and I went down there, and that's why I looked a mess. It's because I didn't get a shower. I didn't even check into the hotel. Trust me, it wasn't for camera time. You know, I would have been all bugged out.
What do you think about the strangulation thing? Not surprised?
I was not. At first, I thought he pushed her off a cliff and was going to say it was an accident. Then I said it has to be either strangulation or a blunt force trauma to the head. But what I did not like were the questions that were being repeated by certain anchors that they already got an answer to. I thought it was very offensive to ask about the shape of Gabby's body being out there in the elements. And strangulation, I'm not surprised at that at all. I think they got into a huge fight. I think she was afraid of him. He's a nut job. He's a loser, just like I told Roberta and Chris that they raised a loser. And they also asked, where did he learn this psychotic behavior? Because, yeah, I believe that he's a psycho. I think he's totally psychotic. I don't like him. I don't like that family. They're shady, shady people. Very shady. Dirty. Dirty laundry. Hashtag. You know?
Well, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're doing a really great job covering this. I just want to let you know. And I
appreciate you. I saw there was a lot of mixed reviews and stuff. You know, especially like on the video, because that video on Twitter got like, it's almost at 700,000, but then the other media covered it as well and stuff, and so pretty crazy moment, you know, for however people take it.
It wasn't my brightest moment. It wasn't my brightest. Not something I'm very proud of, but it's also not something I'm ashamed of. When you should be able, if you have the right as an American to stand up and speak how you feel, and you're not hurting anybody physically and you're not breaking the law, I had every reason to go down there. And my basket was a message. And it was a very loud, bold statement to that family. And I'm glad that it's still sitting there. We should be happy that we live in a country, most of us, that we can, that we can voice those opinions. So thank you so much, Guy. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Molly. All right, thank you. You guys can check her out on YouTube. Just type in Molly Golightly. I'll put it in the timestamp after. They're gonna go leave you hate comments or something. I don't know. But there was a lot of mixed people. Some people hated, some people loved you. You know, all this kind of stuff. A mixed bag. So I mean, it's fine.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's okay. Thank you so much, hon.
All right, take care, Molly. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let me take there's one more caller, and then the last caller, I'm going to give you the reins to, if you want to talk longer, that's fine. Sorry about that. 239, how you doing? Where you calling from? Thank you for holding.
Well, hey, no, it's all good, man. We got the one and only Molly up in
yeah, she had a channel and all that stuff. So I was like, and this is kind of, she was big. When this whole situation happened, it blew up. So I was like, let me at least let her.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah, I know.
Say what happened, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Molly, man. Definitely, if she jumps over that fence, I guess I'm gonna start a GoFundMe so she can get bailed out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
hey
my
Mel,
God.
man, how you doing, man? I'm just calling give you your flowers, man. You're doing a hell of a job. I know you've been
Thanks,
hearing
man.
that all day.
No, I
But,
appreciate it, man. No, thank you.
You know, from a content creator to another, man, I think you're holding your platform down the way you should. Shout out to the little Timmies out there with their comments and, hey, I want a ranch type deal, but
it's kind of crazy.
Those little,
I learned you got to be
Timmies
careful
could
with
get out
that
of pocket.
because sometimes people try to be nice and try to be friendly, pretend to be friendly, and they just want to get mad, and then they start blocking a bunch of people that shouldn't be blocked.
They start doing
It could actually hurt your
outrageous stuff.
channel.
I know, man.
So you just don't want to let anybody in, you know? And this person, I'm glad they showed their colors because I guess I didn't see their initial email. They got upset. I didn't make them a mod. I made some other people a mod. I just didn't, it was bizarre to me how like invested they were. And now I was like, damn, I need to like screenshot this, save it just in case this person shows up at my house or something. It was that bothered. And I saw his picture too. And I was like, he looks kind of like a weirdo. I saw his Twitter picture and I was like, damn, there's something wrong with this guy.
You definitely got to be careful, bro, because streaming is a different breed, but than making a video and having people comment.
True.
True. You're up on a live stream and stuff like that, so it's less controlling, and so to say.
Right.
But yeah, you definitely got to be careful. The little Timmies out there, man, creating these false narratives about content creators and stuff like that. Papa, man, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done, man, and keeping people informed and all that good stuff. And I have a little bit of a recommendation for you. Is that okay? Can I shoot that out there?
Go ahead.
Why don't you put your Cash App on the screen, man? YouTube be taking that 30%, man.
I have it here, but on the side, like a smaller thing. I don't know if I have it for all my. No, you're right. I don't have it for all my screens. Yeah, I need to fix that. You're right about that.
I was looking for it the other day. I wanted to place a little donation for you.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you for all your info, because this is not easy, man. Being a content creator in today's age, because you got so many people doing it, and the way
it's very competitive. It can
platform,
be. Yeah.
And the way you've grown your platform so organically, and putting out proper information. A lot of people grow their channel off of other people's names and fake news. You know what I mean? And so that's why
That's what I realized. The fake news thing, it's surprising to me. I was watching some people, and people literally put whatever, they make up whatever. It can be completely false. People still go and they view, subscribe. Nobody complains. It can be completely false. It could be a complete lie. And some of the things I see some people doing, I was like, yo, if I did that, they'd kill me. They kill me when I mispronounce something. Some of the things I see some people doing, completely fabricating shit. Nobody complains. Me, I misspell one thing or I just mispronounce. iCkedMeL, why? Oh, you're so stupid. Teachers, literally, I've had 2 teachers contact me. One left me a voicemail, English teachers, because they were upset. But these people can fabricate and make up all whatever, and they're getting subs and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, damn, okay.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that.
It's crazy. it's crazy out here, man. So definitely, Mel, man. For the people that are watching right now, man, if you guys please hit that like button, it helps the algorithm
appreciate
out.
it.
It pushes
Thanks,
out
man.
the live stream to other people that are viewing this kind of content. And also, if you guys haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. So every time Mel drops a banger live stream like this one, you guys will be notified to watch, man. Well, with that being said, Mel, I appreciate you, man. I'm also a Miami representative. I was born and raised in Miami. Currently live in Naples, Florida. So
I like Naples.
Yeah, man,
Naples is really kind of quiet, chill. From what I've been there 2 times.
It's laid back.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I'm actually in front of a mansion right now in Naples, Florida. I'm an AC
Damn.
technician. I've been in the parking lot on hold.
Yo, thank you so much for holding, man. Yeah, I appreciate
it's okay,
it.
brother. I know how it is. People need to be patient nowadays, which a lot of people are lacking on right now. So, yeah, man, with that being said, man, I appreciate you, man, and continue your hard work, man. And I'm going to be here supporting, hitting that like button. As soon as you get that Cash App up there, I got you, my man.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right,
Take care, man.
All right. All right, later.
Later. That was a nice call. Appreciate that, man, for home. Yeah, Molly called in, and I thought it was kind of cool because at least to explain a little bit of this situation and what happened, she's deemed, I guess she's deemed controversial, but people would deem me controversial too. And there's a friend, a mutual friend, I guess, that knows her as well or something like that. I mean, I've heard of the stuff. I've done crazy stuff on YouTube too. I mean, not like that, but not that, whatever. So let me see if there's anything else. Do some sweeps. I appreciate everybody that came. Let me take a look. I had 2 stories planned, and unfortunately, it kind of fell through. Oh, I think Gabby's mother, had a statement to the Laundrie lawyer statement, like a reply. Let me see if Brian has it up here. Brian Entin. Ooh, check this out. So there was trolls in the press conference. See, this stuff, guys, trust me, it's not intentional. If you're on YouTube, there's like an auto filter. And even in the comment section, sometimes people will comment and they'll get upset. Why are you hiding my comments? Why? Sometimes it's just the auto filter, or sometimes it does show. Sometimes I have a bot too that helps out with the mods. Sometimes the bot might pick up something. So we try to keep it clean. I mean, you guys can message me if there's something going on or whatever, maybe after I'll take a look at it. But it's the internet. Things are going to happen. You can't fully control the internet. Look at these people that have been trying to control the internet. That's one of the things that I kind of love about the internet, even though, it's like a double-edged sword. The coroner's office says there were at least 4 people logged into the Zoom press conference under my name. Then they had 4 Brian Entins logged into this stuff. I don't want to click the comments because the comments showed the tweets that were being, like the messages that were being typed under his name, and it was very vulgar. I'll put it on Discord. You guys can check it out on Discord. Or if you want to go to Brian Entin's Twitter, just type in Brian Entin. You can check it out. He's one of my favorite people I've been following as far as like on Twitter with the updates and stuff. He also said, FBI not at laundry home. Nothing happened at the laundry house. Northport police are here going to the neighbors' houses. Something about letters they received. I'll be going live soon. We'll see if something comes up about that. Maybe they're getting threats. Police say neighbors got letters addressed to the Laundries. Why are they getting their mail? Let me see what Gabby's mother said something. She said his words are garbage. Gabby Petito's mother responds to Laundrie lawyer's statement. I don't know what's up with this attorney. They've been kind of crappy to me. I mean, I guess he's doing his job, but it's like every time he seems to send something out, it's like a reactionary thing to kind of, address whatever situation it is. He's just watching, and I mean, I guess it's his job, just watching and responding to everything, but it's just like a very kind of cold and just protecting his guy, I guess. Suzanne, thank you for the Cash App. Great channel. Let me just check real quick if there's anything else. I don't want to pass 2 hours. We're almost at 2 hours. I guess that's it. Let me check out Josh Benson. Josh Benson, I think his name is. Josh. Let me see if there's any live streams from the house as well. Yeah. Take a quick look here. Brian Laundrie. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I couldn't imagine being on a trip. I know everybody has different levels of tolerance. I couldn't go on a trip for months and being stuck with somebody, like in a vehicle. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe that's a young thing that people do, right? Or, I mean, I guess some older people too are into the van life. Nancy Grace. She had something to say? What Nancy Grace said.
Brian. Well, I think that it's very significant we are learning the cause of death. And the fact that it is a strangulation, in my mind, even more so implicates Brian Laundrie. I think that when DNA results are in, we'll find out even more. Legal Eagles had long thought the COD, cause of death, would either be strangulation or blunt force trauma. I find strangulation to often be used. It's called a sweetheart murder. In other words, the perpetrator is close up and intimate with the victim. And we find that often in domestic homicides.
Yeah, it's really not that surprising. I'm going to pull up Brian Entin's. He's live now in front of the laundry house to see if there's anything there. Somebody was asking as well, what did the attorney say? I'll repeat it one more time because it's pretty short. He said, Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he is located, we will address the pending fraud charge against him. That's what the Laundrie family attorney had to say. Now, Brian, oh, did he get off? Refresh.
The neighbors' doors. Apparently, some of the neighbors received letters that were addressed to the Laundries but went to the neighbors' houses, and it freaked out some of the neighbors. So the police came to investigate, but it didn't seem to be anything serious because it didn't. They went to the doors, talked to some of the different neighbors, including the neighbor where we're at, and then it sort of ended. So. Yeah, I did hear the coroner's comment at the end about when he was talking about it being kind of a circus atmosphere with the media, and then when he said that about domestic violence, that was interesting.
Tweeted me?
So those of you asking, yeah, so someone hacked my name. Like, the coroner's office says there were 4 people inside the Zoom press conference with the name Brian Entin. And so someone was in there, and every time they would call on me, like, I was wondering why I couldn't ask the question. There was nowhere for me to unmute. I was getting super frustrated, and I didn't really know what was going on. And then right when it was over, Ashley Banfield called me and is like, basically, oh my God, did you see the comments? Like, someone was under the name Brian Entin was saying these awful racist comments. And I was like, I had no idea. And so then people were screenshotting the comments and sending them to me. So someone somehow logged into this Zoom press conference with my name, not just one person, but 4 different people. So yeah, that was super frustrating. Number one, because like, I would never say those things. And I've already gotten emails, people saying that I should be fired, which it wasn't me, obviously.
Doesn't surprise me.
And then number 2, I didn't even get to ask any of my questions, which I had so many questions like ready to go. So super frustrating. I'm trying not to focus on it because, like, I don't want to lose my train of thought for everything else happening today, but it really upset me.
That sucks. You didn't get to talk.
Like, I don't know why the coroner's office put the Zoom link out so publicly, because basically anyone could register for this Zoom press conference. Like, you didn't even, I mean, they said media only, but anybody could register. And so 4 different people registered under my name.
Damn. I'm not surprised, man. Not surprised. And Brian's been there from the beginning. I jumped on this story too, like right from the start, like boom, at the start of everything. And Brian's been out there too for a very long time, like on the ground, standing out there for hours. I mean, I guess they got a place to stay. I mean, he has a hotel, but he's out there on his feet.
So anyway, the highlights again, for anyone who wasn't in the meeting or the Zoom or didn't see the tweets, the Teton County coroner confirmed that it was strangulation, that her body was discovered 3 to 4 weeks after she was killed. And beyond that, there were not very many new details. So we're going to get into all of this coming up on News Nation. I'm going to be on starting at 5 o'clock Eastern, so in about 25 minutes. And then I'll be on throughout the night again on News Nation Prime at 9 o'clock in Banfield. And we'll go over everything tonight. Have lots of experts on and all of that. So no protesters out here today that I've seen.
They're resting. Tired. Even the protesters tired.
Well, thank you guys for having my back. Yeah, I know everyone pretty much knows it wasn't me, because obviously, like, I wouldn't say those things, but it's still obviously bothersome because there were all these journalists in there, and there's someone with the name Brian Entin, you know, basically going crazy in the chat. So it just upset me, but
welcome to my life.
I got to move on from it. What can I do?
One hacker with a virtual private network. Not 4 people.
Oh, there's one thing you guys just reminded me, asking about Brian's lawyer. So Mr. Bertolino texted us right when the press conference ended, and you can look at my Twitter and see what he said. But essentially, he called Gabby's death tragic. I think that's the word he used. And I have the exact quote. I tweeted it. And then he just reminded us that at this point, Brian Laundrie is just officially charged with the bank fraud charge. And even though he is a person of interest in Gabby Petito's death, the police have said. And so he released a short statement, which I tweeted.
Thank you, Indy. I'm rough today, the last couple of days. I'm not surprised at all, man.
Yeah, we will talk to Jennifer today, for sure. So someone's commenting that I was also in a YouTube chat. So the only place I do any of this stuff is on Twitter. So if you guys see someone with my name like anywhere else, it's definitely not me, because I only do Twitter. That's it. So just know it's not me if you see something on YouTube or anywhere else. It's just Twitter. And then Instagram, again. But all I really do on Instagram is post pictures of my dog, so.
Thanks, Bree.
Oh, some of you were saying that Gabby's mom released a statement in response to the lawyer's post. I haven't seen that yet, but as soon as I get off here, I'm going to look. So I actually probably should get off because I have to get ready now. But we will be on starting at 5 o'clock. And I will see you guys soon. I'll let you know if anything else happens outside the house. All right, bye.
Damn, they were ready to... They're ready to cancel Brian. Someone wanted to get him fired. Fire him, man. Get rid of him. Yeah, oh, he's racist. Damn. So apparently they made a YouTube thing as well. I mean, I saw the chats when we were watching the beginning. I was like, what is going on in that chat? It was a little surprising that, first of all, I think these companies should have a tech person. There's so many people looking for work and jobs. Get one of these young people, or maybe even somebody a little bit older, mature. I don't think he has a YouTube channel, Brian Entin. He just said he does Twitter and he has like an Instagram. Hire some of these people, some of these young guys that want to make some money, and they can set up your equipment. All these corporations, they're media companies, they should have the, I mean, I get the coroner's office is probably not usually doing press conferences, but hire one of these young guys. They'll set up all the audio, the video, somebody to manage the chat and the Zoom thing to stop the trolls. When somebody sent me a screenshot of the media thing, and it did have a link, but it was just a screenshot. And I read, and it said media, so I didn't even bother trying, because I'm thinking they're going to verify and only certain people from established organizations can come in. I didn't know it was just going to be, because somebody snacks for something. Snacks something joined in there too. That person was very professional though. They didn't troll or anything like that, but Snack something joined in there too. And I was like, who's Snacks? So, I mean, anybody can make anybody's name, that's kind of, I guess, with the internet. But yeah, man, thank you guys for joining so much today. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day. Be safe. A lot of craziness going on. I couldn't be on a trip like that with somebody for that amount of time. It's just, especially when you're having issues like that and you're just confined into small spaces, so really unfortunate. A lot of people go through it all the time. There's people probably watching now that are in some sort of situation. Best thing you can do, in a safe manner, maybe in a planned way, because for some people, when you try to leave, it's dangerous. Just get out, man. You'll be so much happier. You'll be at peace. I love peace. I love being single. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I don't want to have to deal with constant whatever, being questioned. I don't want nobody trying to tell me nothing. I like being at peace, if possible, so. But yeah, man, you guys take care. Have a great day. We'll see what happens later.